Hello guys, in this video I will give short information about short story. So what is a short story? It's a piece of prose fiction that typically can be read in one sitting and focuses on a self-contained incident or series of linked incidents with the intent of evoking a single effect or mood. Why use short stories in class? The short stories is a crafted form in its own right. Short stories make use of plot, resonance, and other dynamic components, as in a novel, but typically to a lesser degree. While the short story is largely distinct from the novel or novella, all authors generally draw from a common pool of literary techniques. Short story writers may define their works as a part of their artistic and personal expression of the form. They may also attempt to resist categorization by genre and fixed formation. Short stories have deep roots, and the power of short fiction has been recognized in modern society for hundreds of years. Mm, They seem to answer something very deep in our nature, as if for the duration of its telling something special has been created. Some essence of our experience extrapolated, some temporary sense has been made of our common turbulent journey towards the great and oblivion. In terms of length, word count is typically anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 for short stories. However, some have 15,000 words and are still classed as short stories. Stories of fewer than 1,000 words are sometimes referred to as short stories or flash fiction. Let's give some definitions to a short story. So this is a work of fiction that involves the imagination. It tells of one event in a very concentrated way. It's about people who don't really exist. It describes something as a moment of crisis. It has a plot and characters who are somehow connected with each other. They can be read in one sitting and have, as I mentioned before, is 1,000 or 20,000 words long, has a limited set of characters, a single setting, and a simple plot. Uh, as I said before, it involves chronology and sequence of events and causation, the fact that events are somehow connected with each other, and that one event may result from another. Accordingly, there are 5 elements which can include in short story. The first, setting, which contain location and time, characters, the people and their relationships with each other, plot, actions and events, sequence, and then style, writing technique. So the style includes writing techniques, and the last one, the theme. Theme includes main or recurrent idea, could also be a lesson to learn. Elements of a short story. So settings. Now we will look through each point by giving some kind of example to each aspect. So the setting. We'll start with the setting. Tell the reader where and when the story takes place, when it happened. It also refers to the mode and tone of the story. For example, it was in winter in the village, and giving specific information about this village and so on. Characters and characterization: the people and in some stories the animals that take part in the story. If there should be certain characterizations, and to each of them the author should give description. The description of the personalities of the characters in the story and the way in which an author reveals their personality. The identifications of characters, protagonist, the hero of the story, and antagonist, the villain or in the story who is always opposing the protagonist. Methods and characterization. Creating believable characters, so it should be direct or indirect. Indirect way is physical appearance, speech, thoughts, feelings, actions of the character. Uh, uh, However, in direct, we can see the narrator's direct comment about a character. The plot is the sequence or order of events in a story. The plot includes exposition statement, the part of the plot that tells how the story begins. As I mentioned before, how, when, where it was started, and it gives more specific information accordingly. And then we are raising the action in the story leading up to the climax. Conflict, the struggles or problems between opposing forces. Falling action, the action in the story after the climax is revealed, and then it comes resolution, the part of the plot that reveals the final outcome. Types of conflict. So in this part we can see that opposing aspects. For example, man meets the man, and man with nature, man obstacle or society, man with supernatural being, or man with himself. The structure. Here you can see the overall structure of the short story. So it starts from the exposition, the background information establishes the setting and describes the situation. And it goes up to the raising action. Rising action, characters face or try to solve the problem. The results in conflicts within themselves or with others. And the third one is the peak of the mountain climax. Eventually, the story reaches a crucial moment. The tension that is building reaches a peak. And falling action. So step by step, it goes to the it decreases its position, and sometimes call it the denouement. This part of the story explores the consequences of the climax. The tension in the story begins to ease. And the last one is resolution. The story's central problem is finally solved, leaving the reader with a sense of completion. So what kind of problems students face while reading short stories or writing the short stories? So the first one is the comprehension. Following the plot, understanding the characters, understanding vocabulary as it contains literature vocabulary, understanding the role of the narrator. The next, understanding the cultural background of the story and appreciating the style. Inadequate reading strategies, tendency to focus on every word rather than general meaning. Also motivation, lack of confidence, content of stories uninteresting, short stories not relevant to pass the exam in English, and so they don't read much. Making interpretations, confidence to make own interpretations, as they don't understand the whole motive of the short stories, so they cannot make any interpretations. Coping with ambiguity. Why teach short story? So we need to teach in order to respond to text, give opinions, justify opinions, and in order to improve the reading skills. It can help to improve the reading ability. So while learning short stories, we can make inferences, getting the main idea, predicting events. Knowledge of text features. So applying knowledge of their writing. By reading, they can also improve their writing skills as well. Responding to characters, responding to plot, responding scenes, writing an oral performance. So their attitude, they can improve their critical thinking by reading the characters. Approach to teaching a short story. So understand the features of the text type, understand the features of the genre, analyze the text, decide teaching objectives, plan lessons and materials. Stage in working with the text. So first of all, we start with the pre-reading. So we will build up knowledge of the topic. The teacher gives an idea what are they going to read and give imagination. Let them predicting what they are going to read and understanding the details. While understanding, it's important to go deep to the not only to the meaning but paying extra attention to the vocabulary as well. And the last one, integrating and applying. This is connected with extension activities. For example, during the lesson, students can talk with each other and discuss their interest moments, and with the help of discussion, they can notice the aspects which they didn't notice when they read alone. Pre-reading stage. So when in class, teacher guided how recall previous knowledge and mixed experience. This information we discussed before. And the next one is while reading, also the same structure. According to activities, as I said before, engaging in discussions, identifying story elements using story organizer, and summarizing events. As I said before, it's important to discuss and analyze the story. It can help to understand the story better and improve their reading, speaking, writing ability further. Extension activities, and so on. So this was video about short stories. I hope this video were useful for you. Thank you for your attention. See you in our next videos. Goodbye.